blurry. Hey, Nancy here, Keto for Real Life people, and I am making some cabbage rolls today. I'm making two kinds. I'm making a non-keto version for some friends of ours who requested it, which got me thinking, I like cabbage rolls. I wish I had some. I'll make the keto version. So I was on Facebook hanging out last night and said, hey, why don't I just go live on my YouTube channel and you guys can come hang out with me. This is not going to be a short process. I don't even know if you'll see the finished process, but you'll know how to make cabbage rolls one way or the other once we're done. And I have to admit, guys, I have not made cabbage rolls since, oh, I don't know how long. I mean, way long ago, like 10 plus years, 15 plus years. Not that I haven't ate them. My girlfriend makes them, so why should I have to, right? But I was like, okay, you can do this. It's simple enough. You just have to have a few techniques down. Before we get started, I'm going to grab a paper towel real quick and hit that camera lens, and let's see if it doesn't look so fuzzy to me. It could be just the window behind me being blurry, but these are one of those things. You get on your phone and you don't realize it. Oh yeah, that's much better. It wasn't the window, it was my phone. Holding it up to your ear, it can get a little fuzzy. All right, let's talk ingredients. Cabbage rolls, cabbage. When you start making cabbage rolls, you want to look for a nice heavy 3 to 4 pound head of cabbage, as big as you can find. If you can't find one that big, you can use smaller cabbages. You know, just make sure that you have enough leaves. I'm hoping to get enough leaves to make a casserole size. So I'm making a pan of non-keto cabbage rolls to go. So I bought a couple of these to go casserole dish pans. So I want to make enough to fill one of these. On the keto side, I don't need to make as many, so we'll just see what we get on there. Things you need to know, it's really, really important. This is probably the hardest part of the whole thing, is getting your cabbage prepped. So what you want to do is you want to put on a big pot of water, put a lid on it, turn it on, get it to where it's simmering, you know, come to a boil, turn it down, let it simmer, and have it ready. So you want to look for smooth, if you can find, I saw this, somebody else say this on another video. Just look for a nice big cabbage. But you do want to take the time, and I've got two different knives here to see which one. I'm going to go for the short paring knife. You want to remove your core, and then we're going to put the cabbage down in this simmering water for about 10 minutes. That's going to let the cabbage soften and release, and then we'll be able to use them to roll our cabbage rolls in. And when it comes to cabbage rolls, guys, my dad, I'm just going to start cutting in here while I talk. This is not one of these, I'm going to try to be professional today, because I'm not. I'm just going to talk to y'all while I'm cooking. And I'm going around just like you were taking the top off of a pumpkin. You're just kind of doing it in. I'm kind of got my knife at an angle, and I'm giving a slice, and I'm kind of working it way back and forth, just like that. So think pumpkin lid, and that's how you remove the core. Then you can use your knife blade to, and don't cut yourself. Then you can either use your knife blade or try to just pull it out. If I got it right, it should pop out. But yeah, I just wanted to, there we go. So there's your core. You can discard it, obviously. I peeled the big leafy parts off of this from the store. I do that before I weigh it, by the way. That way I pay for what I want, not for what they add to it. It looks pretty, and I understand the leaves kind of protect the cabbage itself. But just before I pick the one I want, I take all the big leaves off and I leave them laying there. Thank you very much. And I buy just the part I want. So I'm gonna take this. I've already got my pot of water on. I had it going before we started. And I'm going to set this core side down. It's going to be covered in water, and I'm just going to set a timer. Now I'm going to use a spider to kind of just help me get it down in there. Well, mine wants to bob a little bit, but there's plenty of water. I'm going to cover that back up. And I'm going to set a timer, y'all, for 10 minutes. And then we'll come back and check on the cabbage. Then we start on the filling. Now, I'm going to work on the non-keto version first. And then that way I don't confuse things. You know me. I'm easily confused. I easily get off track. I can see, guys, here. If I look over here, I can see there's people saying hello. I can see the live feed. I just want to let you know custom stickers are available and open. I can give shout outs to Miss Sharon Swafford, who is in here. She is a Keto for Real Life member. She sponsors Keto for Real Life people. So shout out, Miss Swafford. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Phyllis, Sherry. I don't know how many people are in here. Frankly, I can't see without my glasses, so there we go. Now, next, we're gonna work on the filling. There's so many ways. Some people put mushrooms in there, some people don't. Most always use some type of rice, but then again, some don't. Some just use only mushroom, some combine it, some leave the mushrooms out. Some people use a tomato sauce on top of their cabbage rolls, some use tomato soup, some don't do it at all. This is the way I do it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So we're gonna need about, I'm gonna do this whole onion. I'm gonna chop it because it takes about a cup of diced onions for the non-keto cabbage roll. And I'm gonna need some for the keto version as well. So we'll just go ahead and get the onions all chopped up at once and sauteed. Pardon me. I promise you that when I'm at home by myself, talking, running my mouth, on my phone, doing whatever, I never have the urge to cough or sneeze. The minute I start a live, especially if it has to do with cooking, I'm all, I have no idea what that's about. So bear with me. I'll cough into my elbow if necessary, but I don't have a cold or anything. It's just what it is. So let's get to shopping here. I'll make sure I get all the onion peel off of here so it doesn't stick. There we go. And the best way to do your onion chopping, guys, is just take it and slice it right down the middle and then do them hands down, just like that. It makes for a nice solid cutting surface. It's safer. It makes slicing, dicing much easier. I'm just gonna get those off of there. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna run your knife lengthwise with the onion, depending on how fine you want your chop. If you want it super fine, you can run them close together. If you just want a traditional, I guess, standard chop, running it this way and then coming back across, it just makes short work. It dices it while you slice it. It dices and slices. Ooh, it's a potent onion. I can already feel my one eye watering. Y'all, did you know that people who wear contacts do not suffer from onion eye, onion tears? There's a barrier that the contact offers that protects your eyes from watering. Now, in my instance, I only wear one contact. So every time I cut onions, yeah, you guessed it, I get one watery eye. So it looks like somebody just maybe punched me in one eye and my mascara runs. Uh-oh, I hear the rain. It's not supposed to be here till 5. Well, you know, in Texas, you never know what you're gonna get when it comes to the weather. I bet my husband's happy though, because he just finished mowing the yard. I was gonna start my live a little earlier, but with him mowing, it was kind of loud and I knew it would kind of interfere with the sound on this, so I just held off and he got it done. And here I am. And I just go ahead and run my knife through this for any end pieces, curved pieces. So I definitely have about 2 cups of onion, y'all. And like I said, I'm going to use half of it for my keto ones, and I'm going to use, there's that one eye, just watering. Let me rinse my hands real quick. I just want to say I have my grandson, my grandpup. That's what he's, that's what I call him. I'm going to take this little tissue right here and dab my eye. My grandpup is right beside me, so I have to be mindful and make sure I don't step on him. I haven't seen him in 3 or 4 weeks, and I swung by Elizabeth's house today on the way home from the store, and he was so excited, like beyond excited, you guys. So I brought him home with me, and they ran and played and played and played, but now I'm inside, so they have to be inside. He's right here. He's like right there. All right, now I pulled out my top here so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Normally I just cook it on my stove, but I've got a skillet here. I'm gonna put some bacon fat in it, and what I'm gonna be doing is sauteing some onions and some garlic. Then I'm gonna put them in this bowl. To the bowl, I'm gonna put our rice in, our meat in, our tomato, and our seasonings, and we'll get the filling for this cabbage going. We've got about 3 minutes and 45 seconds till I check the cabbage and see where we're at. So on the fat, just that was a generous tablespoon. I would probably say it came out to a couple of tablespoons of fat. This is bacon fat, by the way. You can use olive oil, you can use coconut oil, you can use tallow, whatever floats your boat. I would not recommend olive oil though. Avocado, yes, it has a higher smoke point. And we're gonna get that hot, and while that's heating up, I'm gonna get a couple of cloves of garlic. Well, a few anyways, because I'm gonna double down on my onion and garlic and divide it between the 2 pans of, I'm gonna divide it until I can't divide it no more, y'all. I wish they had the bigger cloves of garlic. I don't like these little puny ones. It takes more work. Ah, there we go. All right, so there we go. We got a few cloves of garlic. Let me get that out of the way too. I'll toss that up there. And I'm just gonna crack them so that I can get them out of their shells. Just like so. And this comes right off, and you're just left with the garlic. You can use your knife and finely mince it if you like. You can use a garlic press if you like. I'm gonna use my garlic press. I just got it. I had one years ago. It was just from some, I don't even know what store I bought it from, but it broke. So my daughter, who sells Pampered Chef, sent me a garlic press for having a party, which was really a good party. It was super good. And I get to use it, so I'm super happy about that. I guess I didn't crack all these up. It's not all it's cracked up to be, you guys. And I smushed it. I'm just gonna pretend you're my kids over visiting while I cook in the kitchen. They see my silliness all the time. Garlic is so sticky, like it just sticks to you. And then I'm gonna rinse my hands and get the paper off. I call the peeling on the garlic paper. That's what it feels like to me. All right, that should be nice and hot. Get out my little handy dandy scraper here, and I'm gonna get those going. I'm gonna cut it down even more because it's not about being fast here, you guys. I'm not in a hurry. So I'm gonna get some onions in here. I'm gonna lightly add a little bit of salt. I'm gonna get some more salt. Just a little bit of salt, just to help the onions sweat. Because we've got other things that are salty, so. And then I have this wonderful garlic press here. I'm just gonna, I wonder if I can load it up. Let's see. Put a couple in at once. And it's got this handy dandy little scraper thingy bobber. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Gary, that's what I'm talking about. Boosh, boosh, booshy, booshy, boosh. Heck yeah. I'm gonna put some more garlic in here. Even my flattened out ones. Just gonna fill it up. Get that in there. Oop. There we go. Now, you don't have to use as much garlic. You can use as much or as little as you like. But I figure that's plenty for 2 recipes. There goes my timer. Alright. That's that. I'm going to set this over there. Hit the stop button here. And I'm going to give this a little stir. Let it saute slowly. Get them soft. Oh, it smells good already. And now let's check the cabbage. Now, you have to be super careful with the cabbage, guys, because it's been sitting in hot water near boiling. So what I did was, bring these over here. I'll need them a little bit. I've got a spider, that's what this is called, to help me get the cabbage up and out. And I got a baking sheet right here to set the cabbage on. That way, I've got something to contain it. And just be careful and don't burn yourself, okay? Oh, that's so heavy. It's hot and it's heavy, and I'm going to check it. If it needs longer, you can just drop it down in there a little bit longer. You want to just kind of see how the leaves are nice and bright and green now. I'm going to use a fork to just kind of pull these apart, start separating them a little bit. Just kind of, and I will tell you, yeah, that's coming apart nicely, guys. Can you see that? Can you see how it's just separating and coming apart? Now, at this point, you can see if they want to come off, or we can just leave it a bit and let it, it's just falling off here. Whoosh da! Nice, big cabbage leaves. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm going to let it set a little bit here. I can tell that as I get down to this part here, it's hard again, because obviously only the outer leaves so far in are getting soft. So I'm going to just let it set a minute so they can be handled a little easier. We'll let it rest. I'm going to check my onions. Give them a little stir. Honestly, guys, if I had mushrooms today, I opened my icebox. I was at the store. I should have just picked up a carton of mushrooms. I should have picked up a fresh bunch of parsley. I thought I had that in the refrigerator, and I did, but they did not last. And I did not have time to go back. But again, it's personal preference. I like mushrooms, but they don't have to be in there, because I would be adding some mushrooms here too. In the meantime, I'm going to check real quick with some comments and see what everybody's saying. I see there's a couple popping up. Oh, let's see. Blanching the cabbage, freeze the head overnight. When they defrost, the leaves are soft. You know what? I read that. I have mixed feelings about that. These cabbages at the store, I could tell that they had been frozen. They had either been left in a cooler or a truck or something where they got a little too cold, which that doesn't make me happy. But the other thing is, I've also heard that they can be a little tougher, whereas blanching them can make them a little more tender. And you'll see why in just a minute, okay? So, now I'm going to take 2 bowls, and we're going to start dividing from regular cabbage roll to keto cabbage roll. Probably going to need a bigger bowl on this side. Hold on. Let's do it this way. I'll make this my keto bowl and this my non-keto bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and put my meat in each bowl. I don't know how much I'm going to use on the keto side for real, but I do know as far as, I don't know how many I'm going to get, but I have a pound of ground beef divided. So a half a pound of ground beef. I'm going to give you a little bit more. You look a little hefty here. And it's a half a pound of ground beef on each side, a half a pound of pork, ground pork on each side. You can do all ground beef, you can do all ground pork, you can do whatever you want to. But again, I like mixing the 2 meats. They offer flavor, texture, and I just kind of blend them a little bit with my hands. And That's just what I do. Now over here, these are softening up nicely. I'm going to add, I've got about 1 cup of parboiled rice. Okay, so there's the non-keto part of it. It's been parboiled, so it's going to cook quickly and not take forever. It'll cook easily in the oven for what we're doing. On the keto side, guys, I'm adding cauli rice that I already cooked, and it's just the steamable stuff. And I've got about 2 cups of that I'm going to add. There we go. Yeah, that's about 2 cups. A little left over, that's okay. I don't want to add too much. Now then, I'm going to turn this off real quick because our onions are soft. And I should grab a hot pad real quick. And I'm going to put about half of this in this one and about half of this in the other one. Just like that. Voila. Voila. No, I'm not French, but voila. And then I'm going to check on my paper because, dudes, I'm so good that I just printed out my own step of lists of what I wanted to do. Yes, I did pour the cabbage. Yes, I did simmer it 10 minutes. Onions, yes. Cloves, yes. Bacon fat, onions, garlic, soft, yep. Mushrooms, didn't have them. Check the cabbage, got it. Separate, got it. Rice in 1 bowl, yes. Parsley out the door, but I have some dry. So I'm just gonna at this point go about 1.5 tablespoons kind of into each one. Yeah, we'll add a little extra in that one, just like so. Alrighty, so we got that. Okay, there we go. Hey, the mail just ran. Okay, 1 cup of tomato puree, and I think this is what I found. I'm gonna try it. It was called Palmy Chopped Tomatoes, 100% puree at Wally World. It's got about 3 cups in there, so I thought, perfect, don't you know? And this is gonna go down into this meat mixture as well, and I already cut the top off, y'all. Look at that. It is just pure tomatoes, no water added to it. Oh, it smells good. Yes, I stuck my nose there. It's mine. I'm going to eat it. If you got a problem, too darn bad. And this one looks, well, maybe it's a smaller bowl. I was like, this one looks like it has more in it. And then we're going to put some pepper. Zhoosh. Zhoosh. Zhoosh, zhoosh. Okay, I zhushed it. And now onward and upward. Oh my God, my lid was loose. Now we'll go with some salt. Probably a good healthy 1.5 teaspoons. Easily. Now here's my dilemma, y'all. Traditional. We can mix this with our hands, get this filling going. I think some people add an egg. I do not want to add any to this side. It's going to have the starch from the rice release into it. I think it's going to hold its own okay. This side, though, we're looking at cauli rice, which there is no starch in this mixture, y'all. And I'm just going to get my hand in there. Woo! Those onions are hot, but that meat is cold. Woo! And this one just seems like I have so much more, and it's wet. It's wet feeling. You know why? Because it doesn't have... it just... I'm like, let me feel this. I suppose if it was in a smaller bowl, they seem about right. Okay, so at this point, I can add an egg. And I am definitely going to add 1 to the keto side because I want it to have a little binder in it. And this one feels You would think that this one would feel really wet. It kind of does. But that rice is going to plump up and double. So I don't know that I want to add an egg to it. I'm going to leave it alone, okay? There we go. And I'm just going to get this egg worked into this one. Guys, I think your hand is your best bet. If this was a commercial kitchen or I was in a restaurant or whatever, you know, I'd be grabbing some rubber gloves. Like when I make my cookie dough, I put my hair up. My kitchen is spick and span. I get my little rubber gloves out. I'm trying to take every precaution I can because I'm giving something to the public, you know? When I'm a home cook and I'm cooking for friends and family, they get the home loving cooking method. And it's not like I'm, you know, gonna snot my nose up and then touch it and touch it. And you're like, Nancy, why are you even saying that? Because people comment on stuff like that. Like, ew, she coughed. And it's not just my videos. I'm addicted to watching videos, food videos from all over the world. And people lose their ever-loving minds. Particular ones, you guys. Do you ever troll comments on Facebook like I do? I'll be watching a video about street food in Thailand or something. Come on now. First of all, different country, different way of doing things totally. They're not all hard up like we are in this country. I'm telling you what. Anyways, you know, they're cooking. They're using their hands. They're just slinging stuff. They're pulling stuff out of it's not health food standards. I don't even know if their temps are right. But they're alive and they've been kicking for thousands of years. But you read the comments and oh my God, I just crack up. I just crack up. All right, so let me set these aside, y'all. One there. And we're gonna come back to the cabbage. And we're gonna work on it. Okay, they should be a little bit cooler now. And I'm gonna be gentle with them. Now, here on your cabbage leaf, you guys, as you hold it up, there's this thick vein here. You can take it, what did I do with that one little knife? Oh, here we go, the one I poured it with. And you can just run your knife along that and smooth it out and just thin it down if it's really thick so that it's not as fibrous. And you can take your leaves and you can decide which ones are your prettiest ones and which ones that you're going to use for other parts of this. So I'm going to just, I need this paper out of my way for sure. That way I can move all of this. I can slide this over here just a little bit. And I'm going to drain this water off. There we go. So we can see here that they are a little thick. I wish my knives were sharper, for real, like for real. This is the part I was going to be challenged by. But I just peel it off and drop it. Now see how this one's kind of, it'll work, but it's kind of raggedy. You can set it over here on this side because you're going to be using all of these leaves, whether you're making rolls or covering it. And you just take it just like that. Let's check on this here. Now this was an outer leaf and it's got a little bit of a mark on it, but I'm going to cut that right off like so. And again, we'll decide. This leaf, this little leaf again is weird, but I shall trim you, little leaf. I shall trim you. It's definitely on the ugly leaf pile. Okay. It's an ugly leaf. Now let me keep going here and see how many leaves we can get off of here. And you do kind of want them to be tender. You know, you don't want rubbery leaves. But you can see how this one's still holding shape. It is a little bit not quite as tender as, say, these that are very soft and pliable. So we might just plunge this for a few more minutes and I can actually start doing a few things here. So let me get my spider and drop back down in this water. There we go. So, get the lid back on there. And I'll set myself a reminder for 5 minutes, okay? So what we're gonna look for, guys, is I'm gonna go ahead and peel this or trim this one here and just go right along here and flatten it down. This is the labor of love part of it, you guys. I can tell that this one is just a bit firm. This one is just beautiful. Beautiful, I tell you. It's so beautiful. Just like that. Y'all, I do not have any Polish roots. I do not have any, you know, I know they're from different regions and different parts of the world. They do these differently. All I can tell you is that my dad loved these. And when I was growing up, from the time I was 8 years old until about, well, I was 16 when my parents divorced and Mama took us back to California. So I lived 8 years of my childhood. You know, the big middle part, 8 to 16. Minnesota's full of Polish people and Swedish and Danish and German, and you know, they're Yankees. I love Yankees. I was a Yankee for a while. My dad was a Yankee, but I always wanted to live in Texas. Now that's where I live. So anywho, my best friend growing up, Shelly, I will not name last, well, Kipka, Shelly Kipka, Polish family. Oh my God. Talk about some dang good cooking. Oh, and I would love going to her grandma's house on her mama's side. We would go several times a year, and to eat the cooking, oh, it was delicious, delicious, y'all. Plus they had a dairy farm, so everything was fresh. Everything was wonderful. All right, now I'm gonna start on this side, y'all, because I am time crunched here. But you're gonna take your meat, and you're gonna kind of look at it. I want to get it like about 16. I can actually pop this out if I want to, and try to just kind of look at it and go, okay, let's portion this out. I'm gonna make a roll. I'm gonna get this other knife here, this one, and I'm gonna cut it in half, and I'll put that back in the bowl. And then I'm going to do it again. You hush you. Okay? Push that over that way. Stop it. There we go. And I'm just gonna, each one is gonna be 8. So there's there, that's 4. And I just kind of lined it. So I've got some meat here, and I'm just going to put it in here. This looks a little puny to me. Just a little bit. There we go. And what you want to do, can you see that? There you go. We have a cabbage leaf. You just roll it over till it's covered. Fold it, just like you would a little burrito, and roll. And there you have a beautiful, beautiful little cabbage roll. And what I'm going to do is start filling them up. That's what I'm looking to do, is right there. So I'm going to take another one, this little leaf right here. Ooh, that leaf is tough. I might give it a soak. You stop it. I'm gonna unplug this. There. All right, I'm gonna grab this one here. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna pop it in there, cover it, fold it, roll it. And another one. And by cutting your meat down, you really are going to know that you're going to get as many as you're looking for. It's another little trick that's just as easy. Just here, over, and done. Just like that. Just like that. I'm fixing to check on my cabbage. Okay, so now this one has just a little bit of room, but still, it will be just fine. It is sealed. It's going to cook in those leaves the rest of the way. I am going to, look at me, perfect timing. Boop, I didn't even look. And I'm going to drain it here. I'll just use another little pan. And I'm going to put my lid back on, you guys. Now, you can toss your cabbage water or keep your cabbage water. I'm going to keep mine for a little bit. I'm going to keep it for just a little bit. And we are going to do the same procedure over, do that over there just a little bit. And we are going to roll it. 2, 3, 4, 5. If necessary, I will push them. I will push them. Does this look fascinating to you guys? Is this something that, as you're watching this, does this thing sound like something you would want to try? Let me know in the comments. Let me fluff that out. And do that. There we go. I like to feel them to make sure they feel all right. Try to make them as even and consistent as possible so that everyone tastes delicious. Everyone has a right to taste delicious. I'm gonna push this right there again. And let's look at this cabbage. Oh, we got lots of water. Okay. I'm going to move this meat right here for just 1 minute. And I'm going to work on these leaves some more. And it is releasing its leaves just beautifully. Just lovely, guys. And when they stop releasing, just plunge it back into some water and you'll be all right. Now at this point right here, it's not releasing, so let me drain this water right here. And get my little paring knife that I used for the cabbage earlier. And there's some more core. We've worked our way down to the core, so you do the same thing. You just kind of, and it's much more tender now because it's kind of par cooked. Just work your way around. Pull the rest of that core up and out, and if you need to, you can pop it back in and out as often as you need to. So I'm going to keep, now that I've got this core out a little bit more, I'm going to just see what we get here. And you're going to use this rest of this cabbage up, guys. So, oh, that's just falling apart beautifully, beautifully. Okay, we're going to set it aside here so it'll cool for a minute. And we're going to go check these ones. Again, we're just going to look at this little thick part that comes around this rib, if you will. And I'm going to flatten it down with my knife. And get it real thin and, and flat as I can. There we go. And in just a second, guys, I will take a look at it to see if there's any comments. I hope you guys are having fun hanging out. For real. I hope that he likes these. That's our friend. He's originally from Pennsylvania, him and his wife. And he just said this is just something he really, really misses. This one has a really thick rib on it, so I'm really taking it down. Anyways, I was like, well, I've made them before. I haven't made them a long time. He's like, man, what I wouldn't give for a pan of cabbage rolls. So, here I am. Was it on my schedule for this week? No. But sometimes you just want to do something for somebody and make it right. make it nice thing happen for them. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just trim that piece off because it was really thick. And I'm gonna get my little ball of cabbage meat and my rice, and I'm going to fold it over and just roll it right up. I was really kind of hoping if I could get 16 in here. Well, I kind of did, didn't I? They're packed in there, that's for sure. And then keep going. Now you can do the same thing. Again, if you want to, I do have a meat spot here. It's for my meat. It just makes it visually easy for me to do that, to just make it into a thing and a roll or a log, if you will, and do it for there, and then cross tag it, and there you go. So now I already have my meat ready. Quickly, just grab a part of it, fold it over. Now, when it comes to the keto ones, guys, it's going to be the same exact thing. I have another head of cabbage too. The thing is, I don't think that I need to make as big a pan, or you can, because these freeze beautifully. So you can make a huge pan of these and freeze whatever you don't want, you know, can't or won't use right away, and that way you have them ready to rock and roll. Rock and roll, coochie coo. We'll take half of that and just go over, and shoop. Guys, I gotta stop for a second here. I've almost got this pan done, but I need a drink of water. I need a little minute here. Once you get in that rhythm, you know, you're like, I'll check comments while I'm here too. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Hello, Audie, Lori. Looks delish. That's what I use too, Nancy. Perfect tomato sauce. Russian cabin rolls. Hey, Angie Cook. All right, not a lot of commenting, but there's people watching. That's cool. That means I'm not alone in my kitchen. Onward, upward. Let me take a rinse because I did touch my hair just now. Take a little rinse. All right, and we'll keep going here. So now we are going to keep going with the portions. Just roll, roll in the hay. Who can tell me what that's from? Who can tell me what that's from? It's one of my absolute favoriteest movies. It's a big old leaf. I'm waiting to see who can answer. I love classic movies, you guys. Of course, when I was a kid, they weren't classic. They were called brand new. Now, heck, even Dirty Dancing and stuff is classic now. Makes you feel, well, old. Okay, I got 3 more to go, and that meat feels a little shy on that one. Let me see here. That's even Stevens. Okay, so let me get 1, 2, and ooh, here's a nice big leaf. 3 leaves. Let me use my little paring knife and trim the ribs down. Flatten it. This knife is about useless as tits on a boar, I tell you what. Yes, I said that. It is dull. I'm surprised that it's cutting this at all, and these are parboiled for real, y'all. Okay. And now one more. Take the time. I gotta get these in the oven and get these delivered tonight. I was gonna make them yesterday and I could have popped them in the freezer, We had a lot going on, and I did have some errands and stuff to run yesterday too. I've been so busy. Here we go. Let's see here. See, I didn't see anybody answer. Ooh. Nope. Shooty shoot. Shooty shoot. Ah, there we go. Okay, nope, nobody answered me. Nobody commented on this. Okay, is anybody ever familiar with the movie Young Frankenstein? Yes? Are you familiar with that movie? I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I remember going to the theater in Minneapolis, Minnesota when I was, that one's just thick right there. I'm gonna cut that out. My mom took me to see it. We had a hooky day. She took me and my sister. And we went to the big city and saw Young Frankenstein. And I loved it. I think I was in about 6th grade. Maybe I was only in 4th. I don't know. This one's a little wonky, but I just didn't like how thick that vein on there was, the bridge. All right. That one feels okay. And last one. Now, I'm going to do the same thing, you guys. I probably should have already done it, but I didn't think of it, but that's okay. Ta-da, y'all. Beautiful. There's this. Now we're going to do a sauce for them. Okay? In the meantime, before we get to the saucy part, let me move this over here. Okay? I'm going to get this cabbage prepared to go in the hot water bath. So I already have it, right? Just take my little cabbage knife, my little paring knife, and do the same thing that I did before. I'm just gonna pop it in there at an angle and cut and work its way out. And then I'm kind of going down at an angle. Oh, I went a little far that time. Be careful and do not cut yourself. Okay, and this way too. Oh, this one's a tougher cabbage, y'all. Oh, there we go. Ta-da! I'm gonna get rid of this outer leaf right here. Yeah, it's pretty. So I'm gonna throw that away, and I'm gonna drop this down in here. Where's my spider? Same thing. Okay. Now then, I've got some cabbage here. Let me get rid of this. And let me get rid of all those little branches, the little bridges, the little veins. I'm gonna throw this all away. And now then, what you do with these leaves, guys, is, again, you can just cut the thick part out. I'm going to make short work of that this time because these leaves don't matter. Some people, and I've never ever tried it, but I have heard that some people like to cover their cabbage rolls in sauerkraut that's been rinsed. Some people like it tangy. I don't know, but what we are going to do is we are going to use these leaves. I maybe should have used a deeper pan. I don't know how that sauce is going to go over the top, but you're going to cover your, well, first we're going to sauce, and then we're going to cover, and then we're going to cover again. And it's all going to bake, and there's going to be plenty of cabbage. Plenty, I tell you. We're just going to take this. Oh, again, we got to cut the core right in there. That last little piece right there. And this will literally come apart. Isn't that just amazing? I love it. I'm fascinated by stuff like this. There we go. Lots of leaves. I could probably use these leaves to make my keto rolls. But I'm going to toss this little bit right here. Ah, perfect. Love that movie. Young Frankenstein. What hump. What hump. What hump. You must be Igor. No, it's pronounced Igor. Dr. Frankenstein, I assumed. It's Frankenstein. Oh, I could go on and on, y'all. I watch it literally once a year. Sort of like Hocus Pocus. All around Halloween time, I watch those movies. And I just laugh and laugh and laugh. The sauce. Now then, some people like sauce, some people don't like sauce. Some people like tomato sauce, some people like ketchup, some people like cabbage water. I thought about, I'm like, this guy's from Pennsylvania. I grew up in Minnesota. I don't know if ours are gonna be like his. So I thought, I'm gonna make my own version. I mean, it's gonna be similar to a little bit of everything. So I've got in here half a cup of double strength broth. How do you do that? It's 2 bouillon cubes and 1 cup of water. So that's double strength broth, and I put a half a cup of it, right? And now I'm going to take some of this cabbage water. You see where I'm going here? And I'm going to fill it about to 1 cup, right? Just so. I'm going to put this back in here. Turn it just a chit-chip. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but what I'm gonna do, y'all, is I'm gonna take this puree and I'm gonna go upwards of 2 cups. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to get some more puree for my own keto ones, right? And I'm going to use the little whisk. And now I have this beefy, cabbagey, tomatoey liquid to go over the top, and that liquid's gonna be very important to help cook the rice that's in there. I'm gonna get a little spoon and I'm going to give it a taste. It's delicious. If you wanted to, I've got it written down in my notes. If you like that tomato soup, canned tomato soup, you could add a tablespoon of heavy cream to give it that. For this one, I'm not going to. Maybe I will for that one, for the keto one, okay? Oh, and to be on the safe side, I'm going to get out another tray, and I'm going to try to be very mindful here. I don't want any liquid to burn me, spill, do any of that. Let me move this out of the way here and get that set right there, right? And then we're just gonna take this. I might not get all of it in there, but I'm gonna make sure I get a good bit of it. Just enough that I can see it. You see? You can see the tops. And then I'm going to take cabbage and I'm going to cover this all up right here. I'm gonna take off that little stem right there. Just cover it up, seal it up. It's gonna help hold it all in. It's gonna cook it all down. This is going into a 350-degree oven, tightly covered with foil, for an hour and a half at least. Okay? And then just let it set up for a while. You want to make sure your shiny side is down, y'all. It helps absorb heat and cook evenly. If you put it shiny side out, then you reflect away from the pan and it takes longer. So I'm just going to take and kind of double layer this. And I'm going to tightly, 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 tightly seal it. And I'm going to just, well, look at the time. It's going on 4. So by 5:30, these will be out. And they are going in the oven right now. C'est magnifique? Yes? Oui, oui? Delicioso? Delicioso. Okay. So I don't know what I'll do with this little bit of cabbage here. We'll figure it out. We might see. In the meantime, we just start the process again and we'll get our keto ones done. I will do the same thing I did before. Oh yeah. You can use this one is a little more awkward. Shooty shoot. Ooh. Dang. Honestly, you guys, I think that this one was heavier, and I don't know that it's been 10 minutes, but I'm gonna start the process of just loosening it. It still feels a little hard. The ribs do. So I want to drop it again. I think I'm gonna get my handy dandy hot gloves out. I will tell you, these things look battered and scarred because they are. They have stood there and carried many a brisket, ribs, turkeys, you name it. If it's hot, these babies right here. Well, I should just carry it like this. And then I'll drop it in the water for just 1 minute. More, I'll set my timer. Oh, yeah. There we go. There. I'm ready. Surgery? No. Okay. Well, let me wipe this space down. It's a little smushy. All right. We'll get this going. Like I said, I knew today was not going to be one of those quick days. So I think by letting myself relax a little bit makes this much easier for me. I don't know about y'all, but much easier for me. Now I got to figure out something to make here. I do have the tomato puree in here. I have some tomato paste. That would work as well. I have some sugar-free alternative sweets. I have some tomato paste. So this is left over from the other pan. Should be enough. I think I'll just take a little bit more of this broth. And I think I will take a little bit of paste. Here's when things go different. You know, you might not be like, oh, I didn't have this. I thought I did, or whatever. Just play with it. That's what I do. I'm like, oh, I'll just do this and do that. And I will taste the flavor. Now, some people just don't like just all the tanginess. They want that creaminess. And I think with the beef broth, it helps give a little, takes some of the acidity down from the tomatoes. But, well, that thickened it. I like a little thicker sauce. Y'all like thicker sauce or thinner sauce on cabbage rolls? Okay, so I can taste with the, because I'm using the tomato puree or the paste, now I can taste a little more acidity. So what I will do is I'll just add a tablespoon of heavy cream to this. Think, what is condensed tomato soup? What do you add to it? Milk, yes. You get that splash. Yes. Yes. Now I will taste this again. That tastes like Campbell's tomato soup. Voila, new recipe, guys. Make your own. It is darn tasty, and that little bit of cream definitely cuts it down. If you wanted to be super cool, you could even add a teaspoon of sweetener, erythritol, something like that. Some people like that trick when they're making anything tomato based, you know, grape jelly, a little honey, a little syrup. Some sort of sweetener cuts the acidity down in your tomatoes. Me personally, it doesn't bother me, never has. I used grape jelly for years. Everybody was like raving over it, but it was just grape jelly. And I think I learned it off some cooking show from the 90s, probably the Frugal Gourmet. Anybody ever watch that show? Okay. I love the Frugal Gourmet. The Galloping Gourmet. Yan Can Cook. PBS was my jam. I liked the painter dude, I like the decorator dude, and I like the cooking dudes. All right, so that's gonna be our sauce. Now I'm gonna do a little number here and check my cabbage again. And we should be able to wrap this, wrap it up. Okay. Oy, oy, oy. Oh, it's killing my arm. I'm gonna let it drain off for a second. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. We got some leaves that fell right on off. They fell right on off. I'm gonna put them on this pan. Ooh. Okay. All right, let me drain it because, you know. There we go. Move this over here. Slide, slide, slide. And while that cools for a minute, I'll look at some comments. Okay, let me move over here so that I can, I'm just gonna, oh my God, my daughter will kill me. And see here. Set a give, set a give. Yes, yes. I love you, Becky. Oh gosh. Libby, love that movie. I put some leaves under as well so they don't stick. Well, I'll try it on the second round. Make some veggie soup with extra leaves and cabbage water. Perfect. Perfect. Let's see. Time to munch. Sounds delish. Okay. Let me see if I can click this. There's really just not a lot of chitty chat going on in here. What? Fine. Fine. I'm thankful for those of you who are in here. Really am. I know. I haven't been on in forever, you guys. Forever. What movie's that from? All right. This is not named that movie, but again, this is what I do when I'm cooking at home and my family's around. We play games. Let's check this out. Let's see what we got. Do it this way. With my 2-pan method. Oh yeah, they just slide right off now. Look at the beautifulness of these leaves. Beautiful. Whew, still very hot. So be careful. I'm just kind of rocking them back and forth, picking them off, and just peel it. Now I have to cut again already. I told you this was a big, much bigger cabbage than ooh, hot, 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 hot. Ooh. Much bigger cabbage. There we go. And there they go. Now see, it wasn't that they couldn't, it's just they couldn't release because, whew. There we go. Now I'm gonna just lift that cabbage right there because it's a little firmer. I think we're gonna have more than enough leaves right here to do what I'm doing. Set this over here, drain that water while I'm thinking of it. All right. Now, somebody said, I'll just use this pan right here. Oops, shooty shoot, I just dropped a lid. So somebody said use them to line the bottom of your pan. This is a shallow pan. And all my other dishes, I suppose, just like that. I can just kind of spread them out. There we go, just like that. Thanks for the tip. Set those right there. And then we will set that there and start to trimming. Does anybody else trim their cabbage this way? Do you like just cut these stems, the top part of it off so that they're not as thick and fibrous? Just like that, fit them down. Trim them up. Just cut. I'm warm. I'm thirsty. I'm ready for a libation. And I guess water is going to be it. Oh, just a new sharp knives. We were talking the other night with our friends about kitchen stuff, and I was like, I think I got it, man. I've got all but maybe 2 or 3 items off of my kitchen bucket list. That's pretty darn good. I mean, you know, they're always coming out with new stuff, and sure, you want it, but you know, you need to practice rule of thumb. Like if you add an appliance, get rid of appliance. Like when I got my Instant Pot, it does 6 things, so I got rid of my crock pot and my rice cooker, so I don't have those. I traded 2, my hand is cramping, 2 for 1, you know. I have my air fryer, my ice cream makers, my waffle makers, my blenders, my coffee makers, coffee grinders, microwaves, cold brew. I mean, you name it. I've got hot pads. I've got 3 different kinds of waffle makers, juicer, but I don't have, and I was just thinking, see, here's the reason I don't have it, and I don't think I will get it. I'm just making conversation here. I want a meat slicer. You know, one of those wheel kind that you just do this with. I think I'm the type of cook that, because I like to do roasts, like I did that eye around, and I did do all right with cutting it thin, but I was like, ooh, if I had a slicer, I'd just shave this meat, you know, it'd be so wonderful. But then I stop and I think, but how often would you be doing that, right? So I'm like, do I need it? The other thing I want on my bucket list, it's just been on my bucket list for years, but I'm further and further away from, is a deep fryer. I have an air fryer, but I always wanted a deep fry because I can still deep fry keto stuff. We can have that, right? So I'm like, ooh, I could get into a basket, drop basket, you know, and I think that one would probably be more, I don't know, what do you think? Wouldn't that be more practical than, say, a meat slicer? The third thing that is on my bucket list, that's all that's left. I think I own absolutely everything else. Mixers, everything. And the reason I haven't yet is because I just can't make up my mind. Knives. Knives are a necessity, and probably something that most cooks or chefs go for right away. It's like your most important tool. I have over the years bought, I guess what you would call home knives. You know, Chicago Cutlery, John Hinckley, Wolfgang Puck, you name it. I've even had some Rachel Ray knives. I mean, first of all, don't waste your money on that stuff. I've had the Jinsu knives. I've had, and yet they always come sharp, but they never stay sharp. Even when you try to use a blade, which like I have a steel, a sharpening steel, or I use a whetstone. I've even used the back of a cup, but they just don't hold it. So I don't know exactly where I want to be with a good knife. And I think a chef's knife, a good paring knife, and a boning knife would be a good thing. Or actually not a boning knife, but just something like that, a chef and that. I don't know where to go with it. Now, I was at my sister-in-law's, and I just think she's so adorable. Guys, there's so much here. So much. I don't know why there's so much more here. Because we like meat. I'm just gonna dole this out. I know that didn't make just little balls. But yeah, I love my sister-in-law to death. She loves kitchen gadgets just as much as I do. And appliances. And she's really got some doozies. She's got like the iFoodie and stuff like that, and the iGrill or whatever. She's got some cool ones. And she has some knives. So I was over there one night. She was making kebabs, asked if I'd help in the kitchen. and she pulled out a Cutco knife. Can I honestly say I never heard of them? Isn't that weird? But I hadn't. Dudes, I about cut my finger. I about cut my finger right off. Craziness. All right, thank you for the tip on the lettuce, on the cabbage down below. That was very, very helpful. He gets the sticky ones, I don't. So, again, these are made with cauli rice, not regular rice. But I think with the egg as the binder, and there's a little bit of a tear in that one. That's probably what I call an ugly leaf, and I'll turn it down this way. I think with the egg, it's going to make a wonderful difference because the cauli rice, like I said, is not the same structure, obviously, as rice, real rice. Ooh, that one's a little fat. A little fatty there. I was very precise on the first one just because it's going out of my home. This one is staying in my home, so I can be just a little bit more, I don't know, relaxed. When I do stuff for other people, I kind of get, that one feels a little tough. That one does too. That's okay. I can just let them cook a little bit longer. A little bit. So when you guys eat these, are there any, I mean, obviously there's a couple people who have made these and eat them. I heard some people take them and fry them. Have you ever fried them afterwards, after the fact? Never heard of it. Some people say they like to take them after they're cooked and they've sat. They take them out and they put them in a skillet with a little oil and they brown them and they serve them with different sauce and sour cream and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that one is a little bit tough right there. Got a little bit much in there. You don't want to overfill these, guys. They're not burritos. They are not meant to be overdone like that. That's a pretty one. I like how dark green that is. Whatever meat I have left over, I mean, like I said, I can make these up and keep going, and I think that's a little bit much. And I can make them and bake them and just stick them out in my big freezer and have them for future reference. I know my girlfriend likes them a lot. She likes eating these. And frankly, she's more apt to make them than me, because she's always food prepping stuff. She travels a lot, and her husband, you know, was working. He's recently retired. And so, let's see what else I got over here. Yeah, these need to go back in the bath. These ones needs to go back in the bath. Go take a bath. You. Just saying. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. See, I did 16 in that other pan. I just want to trim it down just a titch more. Just thin it down just a bit more. There we go. That'll make it work. I hope you all are seeing what I'm doing. I didn't even think about the bowl. Dun, dun, dun. These ones aren't as crowded, which I kind of like. It allows for a little more sauce. So, over, under. You know, I know that this is not going to blow up on YouTube because people aren't actively searching for cabbage rolls. But you know what? It's all good. People need to know cabbage rolls are delish. Voila. A pan of cabbage rolls that are keto, you guys. Yes? Now we're gonna just take this, again, I've got sauce. This sauce is a little creamier, a little thicker. We're just gonna go right over the top. You see how much brighter this is? Just like this. And it's a little chunkier, so I'm just going for it. I'm gonna spread that out a little, just like so. Let it get down in there a little bit. Just let it get in there. Let it get on in there with his big bad self. Okay. Now I'm gonna take some cabbage, just kind of straighten it out, go over the top, right there, right there. I used those leaves right up, didn't I? I need another leaf, so I will grab me one. There we go. So I have some meat and I have some cabbage left, guys, and I'll just do this on the side afterwards. I'm just gonna call it done and finish this up. Cut away from me because this leaf is very hot. See? See? Just like that. And there we go. So now they're all covered up. Well, almost anyway. And I'm going to take, I guess, this pan here and just rinse it and use it. We'll just use this pan here and I will pop it in the oven. I'll be looking at time, so we're going about 4:15. So 5:15, 5:45, 5:45 to 6. And that's an hour and a half. And, you know, honestly, there is no rice in this to cook. So I can actually check this after about an hour. You just want to make sure that your cabbage is nice and tender, that your meat's cooked through, that everything tastes wonderful. On the others, you want to make sure that your rice is completely cooked. No crunchy rice. Nice tender cabbage leaves. Delicious savory filling. It's a bland style dish, guys. It's salt, pepper, garlic, onion, tomato, there's some parsley. And this is what we do. I wish I had a pan already cooked, but unfortunately, it is what it is. I will, the one thing I wish you could do on YouTube is post a picture. You know, pictures would be great. I know it's wild in YouTube land, you know, with all the wild comments and whatnot. But the ability to post a picture, at least even for the content, the creator. So tell you what I'm gonna do. How about I take that cabbage right there, that cabbage water, and I put the cabbage back into it, and then I'm gonna just drop that. I could make a meatball soup. I don't know if I want to make a meatball soup. I'm gonna just think about it, guys. Right now, I've got an hour and a half to pull these before they're done. This is how you make them, and trust the process. If you've never tried them before, they're delicious. Look at that. I got a dozen keto ones. Could have got 16. I could have easily got 16, but I just used what I had for that pan. And still, I'll eat one or two at a time. This is, for me, something that once it's done, I can put into little plastic containers, pop them in the freezer, and I'm not going to do that, though. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen is my kids are coming over this weekend, and they'll eat them right up. So, but it's something you can do. I see some comments. Let me get some more paper towel. Oh no! Oh, I should have grabbed a paper towel. Do this. I've got a little water right here. Let me do this here. I'm going to pop all of this behind me into there. And we'll just chit chat for a minute. I see a few comments. I'm gonna get it to there. Inziwata, here we go. And get all of these ribs. From the cabbage, throw it away. Voila. Alright. I'll sweep and mop here in a bit. Let's check it out now. Move this out of the way as well. Got a little water over there too. Alright. There we go. There. Now I can chat with you guys. All right, you're welcome. Greetings from Hungary anyway. Wow, do you make cabbage rolls? Did I do okay? Oliver. You can post pictures in the community section, Gara. All right, yeah, okay, that's right. I forgot about that, thanks. I can do that. Oh, what temp?
Did you get here in time?
We got here in time, look. So I'm wrapping up. So you want your oven at 350 degrees and you bake them for an hour and a half. Then you let them set for about 20-30 minutes and then you can serve them. You can refreeze them. You could take them after they're baked and put them directly in your freezer or let them cool down and then freeze them and pull them out and re-bake them. Of course, if they're frozen, you're gonna double your baking time for sure. Guys, that's it. Oh, come here. What are you trying? Which one? You have to try it in front. Oh,
like
you're gonna get a sneak peek. This hasn't even been released.
Right.
Nobody even knows about those yet.
Oh, so am I allowed to say what it is?
Yes.
Okay, so hello. Why is it? You're so short.
I am.
Like short. Okay, so it's cut off. Okay, so it's called Mallow Munch by Perfect Keto. It is a Rice Krispie treat.
Hey, ha.
He's like, I'm gonna eat it.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
I feel like a Rice Krispie treat.
Good.
Delicious. All right. You should only take one bite of that, and then you should take the bite of the others.
It needs
right there.
milk.
It needs milk. We don't drink milk. But we have milk, but you could have almond milk or half and half or and grab the other one while you're at it.
Alright.
You can post pictures. Oh, okay, let me see right here.
These ones are all gone.
Oh, greetings, back to you.
Alright.
Yes, we have national dish very similar to this. Thank you. Thank you. So this is the Nola bars. Nolas are a play on granola, but these are Nola bars by Perfect Keto. This is their chocolate coconut bar. My favorite. You can't see Harvey over here, but his eyebrows just went, Delish. And then the Nola bar in the peanut butter. Now, I don't find this one to be near as sweet, which is nice, actually, but it kind of reminds me of a payday without the nougat.
It smells like that.
It tastes good.
It tastes good, too. What do you think of the three? What do you think is your favorite?
The Rice Krispie treat.
Rice Krispie
Yeah.
treat? Yeah, they're not even for sale yet. They're not even, nobody knows about them yet.
They do now.
You do now.
Yeah, well, I'm just gearing up, guys. So, actually, I can count this as my...
horrible.
Which one?
I look horrible.
Oh, well, you
Sorry.
You don't look horrible. You're young. Young people get passes on that.
Young and in my prime.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. If you're interested in getting links for the Nola bars, they are available right now, by the way. They have a sale through the 30th, so it's a promo for the new release of it. The more you buy, the more you save. You can mix and match your other bars if you like those. I think this is above the realm of bar, all right? They're not your typical diet bar. Love them. If you're interested, just let me know. I'll share a link for you guys, and I will take a picture of this when it's all done and post it on my community page. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in the kitchen. Remember, fats first, moderate protein, low carb, and get you some. Hey babe, won't you hit that for me? It's up in the corner. Bye.